Tennessee take on the Georgia Bulldogs. It's coming up next on Raycom Sports. It truly is a David and Goliath setup here as the Bulldog faithful come into Stegman Coliseum in Athens. They're full of hope, and they're trying to get their undermanned Bulldogs over the hump today as they take on one of the country's top teams in the 4th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Baker. Welcome into SEC basketball here on Raycom Sports. Georgia comes in, only 7 scholarship players available. We will talk about this Dennis Felton storyline much on this afternoon. But as for the Tennessee Volunteers, ranked 4th in the country, #1 in the all-important RPI, so many people are talking about this being perhaps a special season in Knoxville. The expectations have been there since day one, and Bruce Pearl has never tried to run away from it.
Well, I mean, I think this year you should expect us to compete for the championship. Our first year, we were first here, and I don't think you'd expect that, and we did. And then last year, we were very young. You shouldn't have expected it, yet we did. This year, I think our roster is deep, and I think we've got some good senior guards, and I think this year we are picked there, and we should compete for it. Whether or not we will, that's why you play the season.
Our senior guard alongside now and Larry Conley, and senior as an experience, not the other deal. Bruce Pearl has not run away from those expectations. He's kind of embraced them, and he's got his team, I think, right where he wants it.
Well, it's a juggernaut right now. I mean, they're really running roughshod through this conference, and why not? You know, it's kind of like pick your hemlock. Which guy are you going to have to take on right now? Chris Lofton has really picked it up recently. His three-point shooting is dramatically increased. Tyler Smith, immediately eligible his first year after transferring from Iowa, has been terrific. Jawan Smith, 32 on Wednesday against Arkansas. He lit it up, 6 for 6 from beyond that three-point arc.
Larry, the Tennessee seniors are experiencing what you're supposed to experience in your senior year. On the other side for Georgia, Sundiata Gaines has been a one-man wrecking crew.
He really has. They've not been able to surround him with some quality players. Let's rev up that engine, turn that key, and see what we've got. Right now for Tennessee, it's balance, inside and outside. Great scoring, three-point shooting, but also some pretty good guys on the inside. I think for Georgia, they got to keep the Vols off the offensive glass. They're averaging nearly 15 offensive rebounds a game.
Bruce Pearl has got the basketball version of a souped-up V8, and the Vols are hitting on all cylinders. But can the Dogs come up with the upset this afternoon on their home court? We've got the starting lineups and the opening tip-off when we come right back.
And by Pontiac.
They were lined up early out here outside the Stegman Coliseum, a rare sellout in this season as the homestanding Georgia Bulldogs take on the Tennessee Volunteers. This is the second time these two teams have played. Tennessee with a convincing victory in the first. And for Tennessee, you take a look at Jawan Smith. He tied his career high, 32 points, 6 of 6 from the line on Wednesday night in Knoxville in that win over Arkansas. And for the 12-10 Georgia Bulldogs, they are 3-6 in the league. As you take a look at Tennessee head coach Bruce Pearl in his third season. There you take a look at the Dogs and Zach Swansea, a guy who had not been called upon, but there have been so many problems surrounding this Georgia basketball team, whether they be injury or suspensions or defections. Swansea, a young man from right near here. Well, we have heard the phrase shooting lights out, and we've not shot anything yet, and already the lights are out. They turned the lights out here at Georgia for the starting lineups, and a bank of those lights have not yet come back on. So they are talking to the building people here. As you see our officiating crew of Tracy Woodson, who you see right there, Ted Valentine and Anthony Jordan. They're letting the coaches and the players know what's going on as we take a look at this series history. And the Volunteers won 7 straight. They won the previous meeting up in Knoxville. Larry, you had a chance to see them in Knoxville on Wednesday night against Arkansas. This is a team that is playing its best basketball of the season right now.
Well, the thing about Tennessee, and I made mention of the fact that I said they were a juggernaut going through the Southeastern Conference right now. I mean, they haven't won it yet. It is not by decree. I mean, they're going to have to go out and finish up the season, but they are playing extremely well. You know, the thing I like about this Tennessee squad, they can hit you with a 10 or 12 or 15-point run, and all of a sudden, you're buried. I mean, you may be down 3, and then you look up and you're down 18, and then it's over because Bruce Pearl's club with their pressing full-court defense and I think a very much improved half-court defense, has really put themselves in a position not only to get one of the #1 seeds in the NCAA tournament. I think they got a chance to make the Final Four. This is a very, very good basketball team. Mississippi State at 7-2, a half a game ahead of Kentucky. Arkansas at 6-3. You can see their remaining schedules right there. Tennessee's got a big matchup with Memphis. They're stepping outside the conference next Saturday. And you've got to be concerned that they may be thinking about that game a little bit because Memphis is the #1 team in the country, but they've got some big games left.
Now, Larry, as we talk about this, yeah, there you see our officials that we spoke of. Todd Menhidden in the truck already coming up with the night the lights went out in Georgia.
There's that zone defense we talked about being employed by Georgia. 2-3 matchup, and already they've gotten a turnover from it.
Sundiata Gaines, who's averaging 30 in the last 2 games, and off the break, Woodbury will go to the free throw line with a and the Bulldogs out to the early lead.
And Georgia right back into that zone defense. Swansea and Gaines out on the point of it. Ramar Smith's going to run the club from the point. How'd you like that Juwan Smith and Chris Lofton to throw to on the wings?
Pretty nice. There is the aforementioned Lofton. Nice look inside, and Chisholm with a finish.
Dave, Tennessee leads the nation in assists. They average 19 of them a game. And I'll tell you what, they share the ball about as well as anybody.
Woodbury got a good look at a 3, but it went down and rattled out, and here come the balls.
And when I say share it, it means that the guards out there, as good as shooters as those 2 guys are that we just talked about, they still will give it up, just like Lofton did right there. Nice pass.
Boy, that was a bullet inside from Ramar Smith, and another good inside finish by the Volunteers.
2 baskets, 2 assists.
Yes, sir. There's Swansea.
Georgia really took command of that game against South Carolina the other day. Nice pass by Gaines.
And Woodbury doing a nice job of working the baseline to get open. He's got all 3 of the Bulldog points.
I'm going to tell you what, I know how tough it is for Georgia to play a 2-3 zone defense because Dennis Felton, it's almost heresy for him. He loves that man-to-man defense, but they really are down to so few people.
And Gaines with a nice look and another backdoor cut. That time it's Swansea, the young man out of Dunwoody, Georgia.
And already Gaines has 2 assists, 2 good looks inside. He delivered both passes on the money.
Larry, this zone defense is the brainchild of Pete Herman, the assistant coach over there next to Dennis Felton. He used it a lot when he was the head man at Navy, and he was trying to keep David Robinson out of foul trouble.
Well, it's nice to have a shot blocker like Robinson, too.
Off the turnover, Gaines.
Good start for the Dogs. Gaines already with 2 assists in the basket.
The Bulldogs had one of their best shooting nights of the year on Wednesday night in a win here against South Carolina. And the lights being out have not affected them so far this afternoon as Chisholm is hammered by Dave Bliss. That is so wrong.
Maybe one of the Achilles heel for Tennessee has been their free throw shooting. They are not very good in that category, only 64%, ranking 9th in the conference. That's something they really need to work on.
Yep. One of those things that a team with the aspirations of Tennessee could really come back to bite them in a critical game. Shot clock coming into play for the first time today as Gaines throws one up and almost got it to go. But here comes Tennessee.
Pretty play. How about a little give and go there? Nicely done. Tyler Smith, Juwan Smith.
You talked about their unselfishness, Larry, but their spacing is so good on the break as well, and that creates passing opportunities.
Well, that's a credit to Bruce Pearl and his staff for being able to put together an offense that allows them to do that. Nice pass again, down inside, that time by Price, the big freshman. Boy, Georgia doing a nice job of delivering passes today inside. Georgia getting easy looks at the basket.
Albert Jackson with the fake, and he got the bucket as you look at our All-Tel scoreboard.
Guy that made that pass right there, Jeremy Price, the freshman. I think he's going to be a real star in this league.
There is J.P. Prince with his first drive to the basket, the sophomore out of Memphis. And the Bulldogs turn it over. And the lights are coming back on. But they haven't gone off for the Bulldogs, who lead it by a deuce. The Dance Dogs have got plenty to strut around about as their Bulldogs lead at 9-7. Fans follow SEC basketball all season long by logging on to raycomsports.com to check out the Toyota. Today is Todd Menhennet, and our director is Tom Smith. As you look at Bruce Pearl, who is always got the accelerator in the completely down position.
You know, I asked him a question today before the game as we take a look at the winningest active coaches. Roy Williams right up there at the top at 80%, but tell you what, Bruce Pearl, number 3 right now at 78 and not far behind Williams.
Done an amazing job in just 3 years with this Tennessee program, not only in terms of what they've done on the court, but what it's meant to them off the court as well.
Dave, I truly think they have got the best on-campus facility in all of college basketball. It is magnificent. Give Mike Hamilton a lot of credit, the athletic director, for being able to put all of that together. It is a beautiful facility.
Question about that, and the Vols that time maybe with one pass too many as they can't convert, and Gaines makes them pay at the other end.
Is he good or what? I'm telling you, in every category.
Sundiata Gaines now 2 of 3 from the field. He's got 4. And Georgia has a 4-point lead.
Nice job by Bliss closing out on Juwan Smith.
Howell swings it back to Tyler Smith. Boy, there's a kid with a lot of weapons, but that was not a good shot, and Prince bails him out.
He did. Tyler Smith did a nice job. The offensive rebounds, I said, was one of the keys to the game. All right, there's 2 of them right there that Tennessee got back with an offensive rebound. Tough to block out on his own defense, though.
Jackson in all kinds of trouble. Bruce Pearl thought he picked up that pivot foot.
Somebody threw him a lifeline. He was going to drown out there. There's the man who should control it.
And he does so as the Dogs take the shot clock down below 10 again. Gaines has to put one up. Wow, he just threw that one up ahead of the shot clock, and it hit nothing but the bottom.
One more step back, and he's sitting in Bruce Pearl's lap.
Wish you could see Pearl's face right now. He's just over there laughing. Of course, his guys have made an awful lot of shots like that this year, too. And that shot underneath is blocked as Duke Cruz couldn't.
He said, I'll give up that shot all day long. What a shot.
Nice feed inside from Prince to Chisholm, who gets it to go off the glass.
I hate to keep reiterating my point, but another assist on another basket. The Tennessee squad excellent at sharing the ball.
Woodbury gets that one to go. And it hasn't been a lack of defense, Larry, but just been good shooting, I think, early on.
You know what? They shot for 40 minutes against South Carolina on Wednesday night, and he's just continued it here this afternoon.
Woodbury with 6.
They got these students hooping and hollering now.
They do. Prince.
I think we're going to get a foul.
Boy, he tried to lob it, and he's going to get bailed out because they're going to get Dave Bliss for the push underneath. He's got to go to the bench with 2 fouls, and if this gets to be a game of attrition, big-time advantage for the Vols. Prince had his shot by Price, and now Chisholm will go to the line after Jackson got him. Consultant. Chisholm has got 8, but he couldn't get his 9th from the line, and the Dogs can't hang on to it. And
nice job by Brian Williams that time of Tennessee to disrupt things inside. Sometimes that's all you got to do, just make them mishandle the ball. Look at Prince make the move. Couldn't go anywhere. Good defense again by Georgia.
Williams, a 6'10", 267 freshman out of the Bronx. Now, you say 267. Since 2005, he's lost 105 pounds. Lofton. Oh, boy. How many times have we seen Chris Lofton hit that fadeaway 3 like that? He catches and goes up and knocks down his first shot of the game.
Prince lifts about 15 degrees when he's shooting. He kind of leans back a little bit when he lets it go. He has been terrific.
He's shooting 41% from outside the arc in SEC play, and he's a career 42% three-point shooter.
The all-time leader in three-point shooting in the Southeastern Conference, passing Pat Bradley earlier in the season, who was the great guard at Arkansas.
That's right. Second turnover of the afternoon for the Dogs.
Good ball movement by Tennessee.
Couldn't get the jumper to go. Juwan Smith.
Dogs continue to lead by 2, but Tennessee's been climbing Rocky Top this whole first half. They haven't gotten there yet, principally because of Sundiata Gaines. He has had a great start. Good shooting from the outside, some crisp passing, but that long-range 3 right there with a big smile on Bruce Pearl's face. He says nobody can shoot from that range. Well, guess what? Gaines can and did.
Dennis
7 points already on 3 of 4 shooting, Dave.
Dennis Felton has talked, Larry, about the fact that when they played Wednesday night, they actually got some shots to go. They shot 52% from the field Wednesday night. They've started off today 7 of 9 from the field for 78%. Tennessee just 6 of 15. Now make it 6 of 16. Dave Baker, Larry Conley here at the Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia. The Dogs, and they're going to call that basket interference with they're going to call a foul?
Yeah, they're going to call the foul down underneath, and the foul is going to be against Albert Jackson. The reason he was so wide open was he pushed off with the off arm. He caught it and laid it up, but you got to be able to catch it fairly. He didn't.
The old offensive interference call. He was going for the ball.
That's how these two clubs play football earlier in the season. Boy, Tennessee really took it to Georgia up in Knoxville earlier in the year.
And that was at a time when Tennessee really needed a win, and Georgia had it going pretty well. Gaines has got it going pretty well, and he'll go to the free throw line after drawing the foul. Today's game featuring Georgia is brought to you in part by the Georgia Farm Bureau.
David, once again, you saw Sundiata Gaines take control of the basketball. I mean, this is something he's been doing since he was a freshman. How good has this guy been? In the history of basketball at the University of Georgia, he is the only player to amass 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 400 assists. And he is the all-time steals leader in the history of Georgia basketball. This guy has had an unbelievable career.
And if that's not enough, he's the only point guard to lead Georgia in rebounding. And he's done that each of the last 2 years.
He has been just terrific. I said at the top that I thought he was one of the best guards in college basketball. I think those numbers would indicate just how good he has performed.
I think they changed the foul call. It now goes to Juwan Smith. And that's why Anthony Jordan was over at the table. Tennessee ranked 4th in the nation, number 1 in the all-important RPI. But the tempo this afternoon has been much to the Dogs' liking, but that's what's kept the balls in it. Great passing that they've exhibited all year long. Ramar Smith getting the bucket.
And again, off that basket, another assist credited to Tennessee. Love the way they pass the basketball.
It's really a lot of fun to watch. Now, while they pass it pretty well, that was not textbook defense right there.
Not at all. Take a look at the way Tennessee spaces themselves. Nice move by Lofton inside, and once again, as I said, these two great guards that the Volunteers have still willing to give the ball up when they don't have the shot. Nice pass again by Chris Lofton inside to Ramar Smith.
There you see the assist numbers in Tennessee with those 6 assists. 6 assists on 7 field goals for the Vols. Tracy Woodson looking for help underneath, and he gets it. Anthony Jordan says the other way. And the ball, despite Bruce Pearl's reaction, goes back to the Vols. I think he thought it was going the other way.
Probably hurts him more than anybody. Confinement is not one of the things that he really likes.
I think he still gets his money's worth, whether he's in the box or not.
Yeah, he gets up and down. Right now, his club still trails by 1 here in Athens as Georgia's zone defense still made it difficult on Tennessee trying to get the ball back inside. And we've not seen the good long-range shooting except for one by Lofton early in this half.
There is Lofton now guarded by Corey Butler. And Lofton has it knocked away, and Chisholm shoots it over the rim, and a good defensive trip for the Dogs.
Yeah, Jeremy Price with a nice pick off that time.
Boy, and Jackson just cleared out Chisholm again. They don't call him for the foul, but they do get him for the walk.
Continues to sit on that bench over there with those 2 fouls. Doubt very seriously if we'll see him back here in the rest of this first half.
Chisholm got a little lazy with that pass.
Well, he just telegraphed it.
Nice leave by Gaines. It leads to another bucket by Terrence Woodbury.
But Sundiata Gaines is in on every play. Defensively, passing, scoring.
And Lofton has it knocked away on the drive, and now the Bulldogs trying to up the tempo. And bodies all over the floor.
But we had more players horizontal than vertical on that play. Played very well this year. Only 2 losses for Tennessee. 1 to Texas, blown out by the Longhorns. And then, of course, that loss to Kentucky up in Lexington.
Chris Barnes checking in to the Georgia lineup. 6'7", 250-pound freshman from Riverdale, Georgia. The Dogs weren't sure how much he was going to play because of an eye infection, and he comes right in. And
Riverdale, Georgia, the south side of Atlanta.
And there's Barnes getting it to another Atlanta area player, Zach Swansea, who takes it to the rim, and Barnes has got his back.
Tell you one thing, Tennessee's not able to do. They're not keeping Georgia off of that offensive glass right now.
And Barnes with another block. 2 blocks in as many trips.
Here. Bulldogs playing awfully well right now. A little high pick and roll for Gaines.
And Barnes got a good look at it on the second attempt and couldn't get it to go. And Prince takes it right back to the rim. And that's the thing that you can't do against Tennessee. Don't blink, because the balls are going to be coming. They've got a ways to go here in Athens. 22-17. How about a look at the nation's Power 25 presented by Q. There you see the balls in that lofty position. Only 1 of 2 SEC teams in that top 25.
I think before the year's out, we'll probably see some others pop up in there because they're getting a lot of good play from some other clubs right now. Arkansas and Mississippi State, I would think, would be the likely candidates to move up there.
Dave Baker, Larry Conley back here with you at the Stegman Coliseum. Georgia, I think, has had an awfully good game plan so far. They've not only had a good plan, but they've had good execution as well.
Well, the thing that we're over Georgia, they're just fortunate that Tennessee's not been able to put those ones back in the basket.
That may not seem like a big play that you just saw right there, but it's big for Bruce Pearl because J.P. Prince comes into this one a 44% free throw shooter. And in the shoot around last night, Pearl was really all over him. And Gaines, that ball might have gone down, but you can't.
Good trap by Georgia that time. They forced Ramar Smith to pick up his dribble. And they're back into that 2-3 again.
Cruz inside, and he gets it to go.
See now, Dave, that's 2 mistakes now by Price. One on the offensive end by touching that ball on the rim. This time defending inside against the very tough Duke Cruz. What you need to do is front him. Don't let him catch that ball that deep, that close to the basket. Once he got it, there wasn't anything he was going to be able to do. Cruz is a very strong, powerful guy down in there.
Coming off his first double-double of the season on Wednesday night when he had, and all that does is allow the Vols to set up their press. And Swansea in all kinds of trouble. He gets hit with a 5-second call, and that has become the norm rather than the exception for Tennessee. Now check this stat out, Larry. Since the start of the 06-07 season, 59 games, Tennessee has forced 258 turnovers off inbounds plays.
I got to tell you what, Dennis Felton was not upset about that 5-second call. I think he felt like we'll get our defense set up, and I don't want to go back and have them intercept the ball, and he gets
that turnover, allow themselves to get the defense set rather than throwing a ball that turns into a dunk at the other.
And see, right then, that turnover did not hurt Georgia.
We've come up with a new category, good turnover in basketball.
We don't need any more. Oh, nice move by Price. How about that little jump hook?
After a couple of tough trips, Price makes amends with that hook, and Lofton barely draws iron, and Cruz has his putback attempt knocked away.
Gaines with a great bounce pass to the other guard, Swansea.
Now, this is no Hulk Hogan thing, but Barnes has literally... And Chisholm is fouled by Jeremy Price, who looked like he had a pretty good handful of jersey there as well.
Tyler Smith, and with Chisholm and Duke Cruz down in there, they got three pretty good players that can go up strong.
So now you've got Jeremy Jackson.
And he's been sitting over there for some time here in this first half.
Jackson gets that rebound. And the way he's been playing, the guy who's got the most pressure on him in this building right now is that manager who's back there trying to find Barnes a jersey.
Good move by Gaines. Georgia again spacing well. Bliss wants it inside. Can't get it. Chisholm's got him cut off. A good fronting.
Gaines works against Lofton and can't get it to go, and there's Chisholm with a board.
Well, there's a terrific block out that time by Chisholm and Tyler Smith.
Best on the Georgia team. Doesn't look like it.
See, that's too easy. You're going to play his own defense. You can't allow a pass to be made that deep into the paint. That's about 4 occasions now in this first half that Georgia's allowed that ball to come in there, and they've been hurt on every occurrence.
Wayne Chisholm now has 11 in this first half. And Bruce Pearl spent some extra time in that practice facility you were talking about as Prince steals and finishes.
Good anticipation that time by Prince.
But they spent some extra time in that facility last week working on interior moves. And when you get the interior defense going with being able to fill the passing lanes like Prince just did, I'm telling you, you can get it going. We're back right after this message from the SEC.
Chisholm, they've gone to Cruz and to Tyler Smith. Once again, watch the pass down in there. You get in position that deep, that close to the basket, your defense is in trouble. And I will give Georgia a little bit of leeway here because they've not worked on his own defense very much just recently. But Bruce Pearl knows where to go. He's gotten the ball down inside, and if they start collapsing, look out for that three-point shooting coming up for Tennessee.
Chris Barnes has found the jersey, and just in the nick of time, shooting only 50% from the stripe, and that's what he's shooting, 50%. He's 4 of 8 from the line today.
Nice grab that time by Chris Lofton to keep Tennessee on their end of the court. Oh, Gaines got it.
And Gaines gets the 2 free throws to put the Dogs back on top.
If there's one part of Gaines' game that doesn't really shape up, it's his free throw shooting, but he made both of those.
Prince with the lead, and Tyler Smith gets it to go again. Penetration by the Vols and good vision to get it to an open shooter.
Not only the vision, but also the ability to deliver the pass after you recognize the player that's open. Volunteers again sharing the ball.
Tyler Smith with his 4th point.
Double high post pick for Georgia right there. Offset. Gaines didn't use either one of them.
Swansea couldn't get it to go over Jordan, and Lofton hustles into the front court for Tennessee. Wow. Wow.
Prince with another great look. Whew. Well, Tennessee is getting a number of uncontested shots underneath. Georgia's defense has just got to pack it back in and stop that.
Well, we were behind Prince, but it looked like he did a little look away and delivered a cross-court bullet. And the Vols get another basket on their 10th assist. J.P. Prince on target as the Vols lead by 3. The official wireless partner of fans. Dave Baker, Larry Conley, and our entire Raycom Sports broadcast crew back here at the Stegman Coliseum in Athens as Sundiata Gaines and the Georgia Bulldogs have led the 4th-ranked Volunteers for much of this first half, but Tennessee with 10 assists that have led to 12 field goals, now with a 31-28 lead.
You know, one of the things that Tennessee does, I think they wear you down. I mean, they've got 10, 11 guys that can run out there and play.
And with Georgia being so short-handed, it really plays into the hands of Tennessee to continue to run these fresh players in and out. It just seems to catch up with a lot of clubs that play against Tennessee during the year. That's an illegal screen.
Sunday out of Gaines sets the offense for the Bulldogs.
Well, the Volunteers really pick up on him, don't they? There is always 1.5 men guarding him. The guy that's on him and always somebody who's closest to him, aware of where he is.
Somebody always hedging out, and Williams saw that pass go out of bounds. This broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Raycom Sports is prohibited. Gaines got a good look, couldn't get it to go, but that's what he does so well, following up his own miss. And Georgia will reset the offense. 5th offensive rebound for the Dogs. Swansea couldn't get it to go, and that time Lofton with a nice block out of Gaines. Wow.
How about that tip pass by Prince? Ball came in the corner and he just touched it. I mean, didn't catch it and throw it. He just tipped it inside. That was a terrific play.
2 great plays in a row by J.P. Prince. The diagonal pass for the bucket, and then he doesn't even come back down and touch the floor and gets it to Smith for the 2 as Smith gets that rebound and triggers the Volunteer break. Prince couldn't get that one to go, and you can see now, Larry, I think, the fatigue really starting to show on the part of the Bulldogs.
And we're still in the first half.
Yep.
Gaines trying to shake Howell out front. I tell you what, watching him play defense out there, and I'm talking about Jordan Howell, he has done a terrific job on Gaines since he's come into the game.
He's just another important piece of the puzzle for Tennessee as you see that Georgia drought. I mean, he's a guy that can come in and give you real solid minutes and just continue to have a fresh body going at you. Boy, what a feed. 2 and 4 and 2 and 40.
Good pass by Lofton.
Prince had another look and couldn't get it to go, and bodies on the floor.
Squeak of the shoes, the pounding of the rim.
Great job by our guys to bring you the sights and sounds from here in Athens.
Howell's going to take his time now and look over this Georgia defense.
Boy, just more great passing.
Can't do any better than that. I mean, Tyler Smith dropped that ball inside. I mean, here's a guy who's averaging 13 a game. He doesn't care. Get the ball to the open man.
And Wayne Chisholm, the benefactor, he now has 14 first half points. And that one of the rare miscues by the Vols here in the first 20 minutes.
Averaging 30 minutes or more a game.
Nope.
That's how balanced the minutes are for this team.
There you see the Tennessee run, which has given the Vols their biggest lead. And Georgia, who started out hitting 7 of 9 from the field, only 4 of 18 since. And Woodbury, despite the great move.
Well, we'll check it at halftime.
Here's Lofton off the dribble. Can't get that one to go, and the Vols missed the tap. But Tennessee comes into a tough environment here at Stegman Coliseum. They are able to fight off a hot shooting Georgia team early on. And the 4th-ranked team in the country goes to the locker room with a 35-31 lead. We're coming back with all of our halftime activities right after this.
SEC basketball is brought.
Halftime stats, and Larry talked about those assist numbers. Look at also the
How about the three-point field goals? Georgia's been able to do a pretty good job defensively of shutting down the outside shooting. Only 1 of 9 for the Volunteers. And, of course, the points off the turnovers. Tennessee has been terrific this year in that category. Points in the paint have gone directly to the Volunteers. A lot of those, all of some very crisp passing.
And it was a 14-5 run that brought the Vols back and put them into a 4-point lead. One of the prettiest campuses in the South, the campus here at Georgia in Athens, and the homestanding Bulldogs trailing the 4th-ranked Tennessee Vols by a count of 35-31 here at the break. Dennis Felton always intense, and
Fatigue, I think.
no question, he played all 20 minutes. And there you take a look at the Tennessee numbers. Wayne Chisholm with those 14 points, and you saw Chris Lofton walk through the shot there a second ago. If you're Georgia, you got to feel good about the way you played in the first half. I'm going to have another half where they struggle from outside the three-point line like they did here, where they hit on just 1 of 9 three-pointers. And Lofton with just that lone 3 in the first 20 minutes.
And the Dogs are back into that 2-3 zone again. Let's see if they can keep the ball away from Chisholm. Well, they got it to him again.
Boy, talk about picking up where you left off.
Got to find some way to shut off that pass if you're Georgia. If you're Tennessee, keep going to that well. You know, it's not dry yet. Chisholm with 16 points now. Well, they really try to screen for Gaines to free him to do something creative with that basketball.
Lamar Smith jumping out on Woodbury, but they get it inside, and Price gets the easy bucket.
That was a nice pass by Woodbury.
Very much so. Second half starting like the game began. Both teams executing and shooting well on offense. Lofton with the pull-up off the dribble. You don't see that often from him, but if he can add that to his arsenal, that helps his stock go up even more.
Well, I think the menu of shots that he has developed over the last 2 years, one of them is being able to put the ball on the deck and get to the rim. That time he had a little pull-up mid-range jump shot. Good move by Price.
Jeremy Price, who has taken up his coach's challenge to expand his game, has the first 4 for the Dogs coming out of the locker room. And Lofton is fouled, and that will be Dave Bliss's 3rd foul. The Vols needing leadership, Chris Lofton providing it.
I think I lead better by example. I'm not really a talkative person. I talk a lot more than I do, but then again, you know, I'm speaking a lot more than I've done in the past. But still, I think that, you know, that's their role to speak. I think I lead by example in the stuff I do. I feel
I mean, there were very few scholarship offers from Division I schools. And I will tell you, Tennessee took a chance on him, and boy, has it borne out. He has been terrific.
Bliss, after committing the foul at the other end, gets his first bucket of the game as Tennessee has gone 3 for 3 in the paint here in the second half and pulled to within 2.
Georgia needs to guard against that right there. I think we may have a push-off on Georgia. Swansea almost came up with that pass to Lofton.
Smith with a penetration. And the Vols got a tap at it, but here comes Sunday out of Gaines for the Dogs.
Always keeping that dribble alive, looking for chances.
Woodbury.
Was he lucky? He had that ball slapped away, and it got slapped right back into his hands, and nobody from Tennessee there to guard him. We got a tie game.
Terrence Woodbury with his 11th evens this one all up, and Chris Lofton, the young man we were talking about, answers at the other end for the Vols. Lofton now with 7.
You can never forget where he is on the court. Or this guy.
And if that's Bliss, that's going to be his 4th, and I've been waiting for that call. There have been a number of times where either Bliss or Price has just gotten a piece of somebody on a screen, Larry.
Well, he's going to have to go back to that bench. You know, I was sitting here looking at the stats from the first half. Bliss played a total of 10 minutes, but he actually went to that bench about 5 minutes into the game that first half, and now here he is back again. We haven't even played 3 minutes of the second half.
Vols get it back down on the block. Smith, Tyler Smith, can't get it to go, and Price with a nice board.
Juwan Smith with the responsibility for guarding Sunday out of Gaines right now. Hal's got Woodbury and making it tough on him on the wing.
Tennessee really extending the defense on this trip as the Dogs work the shot clock once again. And Gaines couldn't get the roll on the pull-up.
Good pass out that time by Tyler Smith.
And Juwan Smith couldn't get it to go.
Strongly in the second half has been their outside shooting. Georgia's been able to keep the ball away from the inside, and they've cut that lead that Tennessee had down to 2.
The Vols have hit 3 of their first 6 shots here in the second half. Georgia now a perfect 5 for 5.
How about Price? Freshman off to a good start here in the second half. There's Lofton.
Boy, you could just sense it. When he only got that 1 bucket in the first half, you knew he was going to come out here and try to establish, and already now he's hit double figures with 10. And there's going to be a reach. Prince is going to be called for it. And the Dogs have battled back, but the Vols still lead in Athens.
On Georgia here in the second half in Athens, Georgia, an SEC game here on Raycom Sports. And of course, Chris Lofton,
Only 1 of 6, a 3-point field goal in that first half. Different story in the second half. Good long-range shot, terrific pass down the inside. And again, coming down on that baseline jumper with the mid-range J. And then once again, backing up and shooting the 3. Chris Lofton off to a very quick start in this second half, Dave.
3 for 3 in the second half. Of course, the last time these two teams played, Lofton with 27 points on 7 threes as the Vols won 85-69 back on January the 26th.
who's a better three-point shooter, Chris Lofton or Shane Foster? It would be tough. Just line them up and let them shoot 100, and we'll see.
Lofton.
Okay.
I give the nod to Lofton. Both with a world of talent, though, and a real ability to put the basketball in the hole from deep. There you see the numbers in the second half, and Gaines with a nice feed, and Barnes with a finish.
Sundiata Gaines with his 6th assist of the afternoon.
Barnes with his 6th point, and Georgia back within a point.
Swansea extending on Howell out there, opens it up down inside. Good pass again by Smith. Have to qualify that, say that, Tyler Smith.
Yeah. Of course, you could simply say good pass, and
He is wearing 40. He started out with 4 today, but he had his jersey ripped off, so he had to go back into the locker room and pick up number 40. Chris, who's played very well today.
really giving his team a spark off the bench and giving them a presence inside. As Duke Cruz looks to make it 2 for 2 from the line. That one is short, and Jackson, who got that rebound, was the man who was whistled for his 3rd foul. Dave Bliss on the Georgia bench with 4, and Woodbury with the 3 for the Dogs to put them back on top.
Nice play that time. Barnes slapped it away. Gaines going.
Sundiata Gaines giving it up to the Georgia students. And now Barnes, I don't know whether he's cramped up or just to the left of the screen there, you can see him limping over to the Georgia bench. And I don't know whether he took a shot south of the border or whether he's got a cramp or...
The way that he was limping over there, well, we don't want to speculate. You have to wait and see. We'll try to get a report on his injury.
Boy, they're looking at the knee. Hopefully it was just one of those things where you hear a little something pop and you think it's bad, and then all of a sudden you pop back up.
Albert Jackson in to replace him in the lineup.
Oh, Lofton's back. Is he back? What a second half he is having so far.
When that young man, you know, when he gets that feeling, you can just see it in his eyes.
Albert Jackson again in unfamiliar territory with the ball out there, handed off to Swansea. Look at Swansea maneuver.
Over Lofton, and he gets it to go. I'll tell you, this has been fun.
Good ball game. Bulldogs providing a lot of competition today for the number 4 ranked team in the country.
And Lofton coming off that screen just about raised up from over there in front of Bruce Pearl.
Cruz wants it inside if he can get it against Price.
Wayne Chisholm not afraid to take that three, and that is a nice tip. Was that Prince?
It was Prince. Again, the offensive glass paying big benefits for Tennessee.
And Gaines.
Over right there. That was too easy.
And a whistle. And this time Gaines will go to the line.
You know, Juwan Smith is very clever with the basketball. Watch him go down, and you think you're going to lay it up on one side. No, he takes it to the opposite side. There's really nobody over there to have a little help defense on the other side, and he just laid it in.
At the other end, Smith got whistled for his third foul. Misses both free throws, and Jackson and Tyler Smith tied up, but it was Smith on the floor who got the timeout, and Tennessee will retain possession. We have got a good one here as the Dogs are taking it to the country's fourth-ranked team. Out a moment ago as Smith goes under the rim. Juwan Smith with a sweet reverse.
Well, if you're going to play a zone defense, you got to cut off that baseline maneuver.
Fans, log on now to raycomsports.com for a chance to join us at an upcoming game like this one. We've got a good one going on. You could be a winner in the AT&T One of the Crew contest. You could be up there with JR for crying out loud. You and a guest could win a VIP trip, including travel, hotel accommodations, a seat right there next to Dougie to one of our basketball telecasts, and go behind the scenes with the broadcast team. Check out raycomsports.com. They actually went and got one of those old hydroculator hot pads during the break, and he was putting it on the back of his right calf. So he's trying to fight off the cramps, and you think, you know, at this point in the season, but it's awfully warm. It's in the 60s outside today, and Juwan Smith not able to warm up on the inside. Juwan Smith with just 2 points today, and Woodbury can't answer, but Jackson. And there's Juwan Smith coming out of there with it for the Vols.
That's a carry.
Smith coming off a game in which he tied his career high with 32. He was 6 of 6 from outside the three-point line Wednesday night against Arkansas. And today he's only 1 of 5 from the field.
He was deadly on Wednesday night. He put the Razorbacks on the spit.
Wow, very good. Woodbury couldn't get that one to go.
Good pass inside.
Boy, Tyler Smith, he can absolutely finish now.
Ramar Smith to Tyler Smith. Once again, I just talk about the way he does the game. I mean, he thinks it. He's so quick, understands it, and has such a great facility to do just about anything he wants to do with the ball.
10 points for Smith, as that's Ramar Smith, who comes up with a strip. Bulldog fans wanted a foul. And there's Tyler Smith again. Boy, he has just brought such a dimension to this Tennessee basketball team.
I was talking with Bob Kessling, the radio guy for the Volunteers, and I said, you know, there's one guy on the squad, and you can talk about Juwan Smith and Chris Lofton, but I said I really like Tyler Smith. Good move by Ramar Smith to come up that steal against Gaines.
13-2 Volunteer run, and you talked about it earlier, my friend. This Tennessee team has the ability to just wear you down and then all of a sudden explode. And they have stretched it out to a 7-point margin here in this second half of play. The Vols on top of the Dogs, 58-51. We're back after this message from the SEC. 58-51 as Dennis Felton tries to urge his underman Bulldogs on. Their last field goal came at the 13:50 mark. And as you see, we're under 11 minutes now, and the Vols lead 58-51. And Larry, as we take a look at Tyler Smith there, again, 6 of 10 from the field, so he's got 12 points. He's got 9 rebounds. 4 times this year he's flirted with a double-double. He got that hardship because his dad was ill, wanted to come back and be with him, and then he lost a really courageous battle with cancer before he ever had a chance to see him play. And so as a result, the NCAA granted a hardship, and what a plus he's been for this Tennessee basketball team.
With my understanding was he originally was going to come to Tennessee, and then Buzz Peterson got relieved of his duties, and 58-51 here in the second half.
They've done it on the strength of several players, but Tyler smishing it on the inside. His ability to score, to rebound, and finish plays has put Tennessee in position to win the Southeastern Conference title on plays just like that. He has done it well and done it almost consistently every game this season. There he is already with 12 points, and as Dave said, flirting again with a double-double with those 9 rebounds.
Boy, and Larry, there are just so many moving parts to this Tennessee basketball team. You know, you mentioned at the end of the first half, you know, how many? Oh, he's got 8. And there are just so many guys like this on this team, and that's why nobody sticks out in terms of stats, but they stick out in the stat that counts the most, and that's a win column.
Consider this, Juwan Smith had 32 on Wednesday.
Yep.
He hasn't even been anywhere near that today and won't get there.
2 today as Chisholm gets the block and then starts the break. And one too many as Georgia has not scored in the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds here in Athens, but find themselves down by just 7. Price got a good look, couldn't get it to go, but Bliss with the tap.
That was some offensive rebound by Bliss. That tip in. He was fully extended. Nice pass inside to Prince.
Well, you know, everybody on this Tennessee team has got their own individual strengths, but J.P. Prince, who sits out there and is a free safety and gets that and then can't get it to go, you know, he's a guy that really works that baseline. He's done it awfully well today. Gaines, boy, what a pretty move.
Tennessee right back at you. Boy, they transition well from defense to offense.
They do not hang their head for a blink after a bucket is made against them. They get right back to work like that.
Georgia just not reacting. You're just not reacting to the quickness of Tennessee right now.
As Smith jumps out there in the passing lane. It's not only the reaction, I don't think, Larry, but I think it's fatigue. I mean, you know, you saw Chisholm, who was a little winded. He goes ahead and comes out, and you bring in Duke Cruz's fresh set of legs.
Look at Gaines and Woodbury, both of them bent over trying to get their breath. Volunteers beginning to wear down the Bulldogs right now.
I'm telling you, if there is a guttier kid in the SEC than Sundiata Gaines, I'd like to see it.
Boy, look at that pass by J.P. Prince, or to J.P. Prince with the finish.
Man who's excitable anyway, but especially so right there.
Transfer from Arizona, came in at midseason and has paid big dividends, averaging 8 points and 3 rebounds a game.
You know, to see him out there playing Oklahoma for 3 weeks.
It might have been tipped. I'm not sure. No, they're going to say it wasn't tipped. It belongs to Tennessee.
And Zach Swansea getting some encouragement from Dennis Felton.
And balance. That's what Tennessee throws at you.
Not only is he active on that baseline as Lofton raises up, golly, he just stepped in off the bench. And I'm telling you, I just don't understand why people continue allowing him to shoot like that. Because he will pull the trigger and he will knock it down.
Well, Georgia trying to fade back down inside to deny those passes to the post, which they have been able to do, but it also leaves Lofton open outside, and we've got a Tennessee foul on the other end.
Lofton is called for the foul. And there, we'll show you those numbers again, but it goes back to a point you made to me several weeks ago when we were down in Florida, Larry, about the fact that Bruce Pearl explaining how Chris Lofton is a second half of the season guy.
And he's been that pretty much his entire career. A nice pass inside, grabbed by Bliss and finished, and a terrific play. Court press, and also that offensive pressure that they put on them coming back. He's got to get some tremendous play, particularly out of the inside guys. Bruce Pearl saying, don't let him up. Keep the hammer down.
You talked about pick your poison at the start of today's game.
Well, there it is. Lofton with 16, slightly above his average.
And Juwan Smith with just the 2, and that speaks to the point you were making, Larry, that, you know, you can shade one of the guys, but chances are not good that all 3 are going to have an off day at the same time.
It's what we call options.
Yes.
And that's what Bruce Pearl has, lots of options.
Tennessee is led by as many as 10. And Lofton can't get that one to go. Smith can't get the tap, and Prince is called for. Today's game is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. Dave Baker, Larry Conley back here. Larry, to try to describe to folks how excitable Bruce Pearl can be, pictures probably do it better than a description.
Well, look at Pearl. He's trying to talk to his team, and Ted Valentine thought he'd ask him a question, and he's totally ignoring him. And Ted says, I got to get out of this huddle. I mean, Pearl was turning around, and he was trying to address his players. Ted Valentine had walked into his huddle to ask him a question if he had a question, and Pearl said no, and he was admonishing his players, and Ted says, okay, I'm out of here.
I think he wanted his guys to call a timeout rather than turn the ball over. And then you could just see him say, TV timeout, and then he just didn't skip a beat, you know, he just.
Not a good pass by Bliss.
No, you're not going to get a pass like that over Tyler Smith.
Down inside to get a pass like that over him. Swansea having difficulty getting the ball in.
And there's Smith getting a hand on it. And he loses the handle. And I don't know if Gaines is aware of that or not.
Trust me, he's aware.
Pull up for the long three, and he gets it to go.
I tell you, he is death on Tennessee. Absolute death. It's the second time in this game he has made a long-range three with the clock winding down.
Ramar Smith can't get it to go, and it was Gaines who got a hand on it.
How about that move by Swansea? All of a sudden, Georgia's back.
Swansea with 8, Gaines with 18, and the Dogs back within 3.
Crowd now back into the game. Bruce Pearl up shouting for a play. Let's see what he does. That's a good play.
I'd say getting into that guy's a pretty good call. Chris Lofton with an unbelievable second half. Not unbelievable when you look at the full body of his work, but he's got 13 of his 16 here after the break.
A remarkable individual. Offensive foul against Woodbury. You know, and we got two good guards in here. Actually, Chris Lofton comes right back on the fake to get Swansea to float by, and then he nails the three. Two outstanding senior guards in this Southeastern Conference.
Smith off the bounce. Gaines got a hand on it. And the ball's relentless on the offensive glass, but they can't get it to go.
Good move by Swansea to pull it back out and set their half-court game. Oh, what a block by Tyler Smith.
Well, I like Swansea taking it to the hole like that, but great defense. There's just another one of those things you talk about that young man does.
Got a great array of skills, Tyler Smith. Against Swansea having difficulty getting it in.
And the Vols come up with another turnover. Boy, that's the one thing about Tennessee now. As tough as they are normally, once you have to bring it in bounds against them, may be the most challenging aspect for opposing offenses.
Couldn't agree more.
Powell with a nice feed inside. And now he gets it back and knocks down the jumper.
Boy, just when you think you've got everything plugged in, there's a leak in the dike, and it comes right back to Howell as he nails one.
And it was Tyler Smith with that assist. And now Gaines gets a shred of daylight. And boy, I tell you, he just continues to impress. 20 points for Sundiata Gaines as the Dogs badly needed that basket to stay within 7.
Good block. Yes, it was. Woodbury wants to give it up. Will somebody come and take the ball?
Price got the block. And can Gaines get the three? And how about Chisholm with his second and his third blocks of the game? We've seen great offense, but how about that defense?
Bliss is saying, what do I have to do to get this ball up? Chisholm would not go away. Watch this defensive sequence. This is just outstanding defensive play. Chisholm right there. Now look at Bliss. Got up, blocked. Back, blocked. Chisholm is so excited. Look at him. Well, that was just good defensive play again by Wayne Chisholm. But Georgia's got the ball. Gaines is calling for a screen from Jackson.
Dogs will get a much-needed puff of air at the next dead ball. But look at Sundiata Gaines, 23 points. And Lofton answers for the balls. Are you kidding me? 22 for Chris Lofton.
What a show these two guards are putting on right now.
It's a 3-for-all. And Price from the free throw line answers once again for a Georgia team that will not go away.
Boy, you got to give Georgia a lot of credit. They have hung in there. Tennessee has kept the pressure on them. Good fake again by Lofton.
That one off the front rim, and no surprise that Gaines comes down with the rebound. He and Lofton have kind of gone a little mano-mano here in the last several trips. Chisholm! And a tough rebound in there by the walk-on, Corey Butler.
Swansea's going to use the screen. Backs off of it. Jordan Howell with good defensive work.
Boy, Swansea with a nice penetration, and he'll go to the line. Got a dandy finish coming up. Stay right with us here in Athens after these messages from your local SEC station.
Stars. Sundiata Gaines and Chris Lofton have had outstanding afternoons.
From Dunwoody, Zach Swansea, who's trying to complete the three-point play. And Bliss had the offensive board, but couldn't hang on to it.
I'll tell you what's remarkable is Bliss has avoided that fifth foul the whole second half that he's been in there.
Early in this second half, he picked up his fourth, but he's managed to avoid, as Larry said, number 5. What a nice spin move by Smith, but Bliss and Butler got a hand on it.
Look at Swansea.
And Bliss has the rebound just ripped away from him by Wayne Chisholm.
I mean, how hard is it to take the ball away from a 255-pound guy unless you yourself are pretty big? And he's 6'9", 242. Look at this. Bliss has got it, and Chisholm just stripped him from it. Boy, that was a good, strong pull away that time by Chisholm.
And then he throws it off of Butler. And the Vols with the basketball in a 3-point lead. Smith with the air ball. It's been a tough visual that the Vols would go to him in that situation. Each team with one full timeout. The Vols with 2 30s.
Gaines trying to work on Juwan Smith. Well, Tennessee has really clamped down on their half-court defense this trip.
Oh, and here are the 2 stars that we talked about. Gaines with a pull-up. Can't get it to go, but Bliss is there with the offensive board.
Bliss with that high post screen. Woodbury trying to help Swansea.
Woodbury's 3. Can't get it to go. And Lofton with the rebound.
All right, now you put the ball in the hands of Lofton or Juwan Smith. They are the 2 best free throw shooters that Tennessee has.
My question would be, if you're Georgia, do you go to one of those poor Tennessee free throw shooters and take your chances at the line?
Well, right now, Georgia's going to sit back. Tennessee's going to have to put up a shot.
Because Lofton is an 86% free throw shooter. Smith with a jump stop. And Chisholm had a great look at a follow, and he couldn't get it to go.
It's got to go up. They need a three.
Woodbury couldn't get it to go. I think he was on the line. Oh, and I know you like to have that flow, but I just got to believe that Dennis Felton would have liked to have gotten a better look than that.
Well, the Tennessee defense really responded well that time in transition. Georgia needed a three, and Tennessee knew that. Woodbury was on the line. That was going to be a deuce if he were to make it, and it still would have left them 1 point shy. Right now, Tyler Smith can put this one out of reach with just one free throw.
So Smith goes to the free throw line, a 72% shooter. And he can't get it to go.
Dogs are alive. They got to hurry.
And the Vols, I believe, had a foul to give. Nope. Great play by Tennessee right now.
You know, that is a terrific idea right there. Tennessee is going to take the foul and let Sundiata Gaines shoot the free throws.
Fans, you can join us on our season-long traveling exhibit celebrating the 10 greatest dunkers of all time. Go to raycomsports.com for more information. And now a timeout has been taken. And that would be good coaching right there, as you mentioned, Mr. Conley.
Well, it's always the discussion we have among those of us who follow this game. Do you go ahead and take the foul and send the guy to the line for the one-and-one? You know, the way Gaines shoots free throws, although he's had a decent afternoon today, he is not a very good free throw shooter. Bruce Pearl in his huddle right now, knowing he's got a three-point lead with less than 3 seconds, he just wants the ball inbounded and make sure that Lofton or Jawan Smith have their hands on it when Georgia commits that foul if they cannot get that turnover.
Well, here's the question. I mean, you had a Georgia basketball team that was down by 3. The only thing that could potentially hurt you is that three-point shot. So send them to the free throw line. The question is, if you're Georgia, do you try the old intentional miss?
Absolutely. If you make the first one, you got to miss the second one.
Hoping that Bliss or Price can get a tap. Tennessee trying to hang on here on the road. Their number 4 national ranking on the line. And the Vols have gone the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds without scoring.
Got to go back out. He's going to try it.
And Gaines' 3 kicks off the back iron, but it was a valiant effort. Not only by Sundiata Gaines individually, as he's in the front row, but the Georgia Bulldogs collectively.
They're getting a big hand from their fans. Listen to that, Dave. The students are up applauding.
Well deserved. It's Gaines with 23, but Chris Lofton with 19 of his 22 in the second half. And the Tennessee Volunteers get their 23rd win of the season and hang on to their number 4 national ranking. For our producer Todd Minhit and my partner Larry Conley, I'm Dave Baker. You've been watching Raycom Sports exclusive coverage of Southeastern Conference basketball. So long, everybody.
Where are the lights turned on?
Something, you got to have quality players going against your first squad. He hasn't had that luxury for some time.
Well, we have anything yet, and already the lights are out. They turned the lights out here at Georgia for the starting lineups, and a bank of those lights have not yet come back on. So they are talking to the building people here. What's going on is we take a look at this series history, and the Volunteers won 7 straight. They won the previous meeting up in Knoxville. Larry, you had a chance to see them in Knoxville on Wednesday night against Arkansas. This is a team that is playing its best basketball of the season right now.
Well, the thing about Tennessee, and I made mention of the fact that I said they were a juggernaut going through the Southeastern Conference right now. I mean, they haven't won it yet. It is not by decree. I mean, they're going to have to go out and finish up the season, but they are playing extremely well here. Tennessee's got a big matchup with Memphis. They're stepping outside the conference next Saturday. And you've got to be concerned that they may be thinking about that game a little bit because Memphis is the #1 team in the country. But
Back on Sierra Extended and Crew Cabs, Lucerne and G6. Hurry before these commanding offers are history. See your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today.
Dogs continue to lead by 2, but Tennessee's been climbing Rocky Top this whole first half. Haven't got
the out of gains, as you indicated, the last minute and a half looked like he was really gassed, and they really needed a break. Tennessee has done a good job of getting the ball inside, particularly to Chisholm, and I've answered my own question. Yes, Tyler Smith has scored 8 points. He has had a terrific first half, but he's one of those guys you and I have talked about that he does it. He is so unassuming about the way he does things. He's also got 5 rebounds with those 8 points.
This team is just maybe the most unselfish team in the college basketball right now. Let's take a look at our Advanced Auto Parts drive to the SEC championship standings, and no surprise that you see the Volunteers on top and the Wildcats of Kentucky holding on to that second spot with a win earlier today that you saw right here on Raycom at LSU. Let's go now to the West, and the western half of the side, Mississippi State, a big one today against Arkansas. That one coming up a little bit later. Alongside Larry Conley back here at the Stegman Coliseum in Athens, where the Bulldogs trail Tennessee 35-31, and a time in the season, Larry, where each game has added importance, especially when you look ahead at what Tennessee and other teams hope to do in the postseason.
Well, the thing I like about college basketball is that even the teams that are winning, they're way up there, they have something to play for, and that's an increased seeding. I mean, moving up. And in the Southeastern Conference, for all you fans out there, those of us who follow college basketball closely, realize that the first 2 teams in each division in the Southeastern Conference don't have to play that first day.
Right.
It is very important to not have to do that, play 3 games instead of 4, so they still have a lot to play for.
Especially when you're trying to play your way into the big dance. Here now, look at our Crystal.
Ruby Tuesday presents the Play of the Week. Playing through a 101-degree fever last Saturday, Tennessee's Juwan Smith still found a way to save the day for the Vols. With just under 20 seconds remaining in a game tied at 45, Smith picked the pocket of LSU's Marcus Thornton and took it the length of the court for the winning lay-in. And that's our Ruby Tuesday Play of the Week.
Pretty good play from Juwan Smith there, coming off a fever and getting the winning basket for the Vols. And right now, his 4th-ranked Tennessee club leading 35-31 here at the Stegman Coliseum over Georgia. Dave Baker, Larry Conley back here with you. Larry, in terms of adjustments for the second half, first of all, if you're the Georgia Bulldogs, what do you have to do?
First thing I would do is pack that zone defense more inside. Wayne Chisholm had 14 points in that first half. Some excellent passing by Tennessee. I counted, well, let's see, they had 11 assists on 14 baskets in that first 20 minutes. And you've got to give them credit. I mean, they're moving the basketball well. I don't think Georgia's defense is reacting quickly enough. They need to pack that thing down in there, but also keep a weary eye on those 2 guys out front, because Juwan Smith and Chris Lofton can burn them very easily. But right now, their main concern is trying to shut down that inside offense of Tennessee's. They got to be very careful with their guys inside. They've just got 2 fouls. Keep away from those foul problems for Georgia. For Tennessee, I wouldn't change a whole lot except maybe a little faster momentum, a little pickup in their offense. I think they've been slowed down a little bit by Georgia's defense, and they've got to find some way to get Sunday Audit Games more involved. He didn't have a good shooting first half. He had a good line all the way across, but needs to shoot the ball a little better.
All right, here's a look at our Infinity heft. Lofton with the pull-up off the dribble. You don't see that often from him, but if he can add that to his arsenal, that helps.
We got a tie game.
Terrence Woodbury with his 11th evens this one all up, and Chris Lofton, the young man we were talking about, answers at the other end for the Vols.
Freshman off to a good start here in the second half. There's Lofton.
Boy, you could just sense it. When he only got that 1 bucket in the first half, you knew he was going to come out here and try to establish, and already now he's hit double figures with 10.
See your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer today.
Tennessee up on Georgia here in the second half in Athens, Georgia, an SEC game here on Raycom Sports. And, of course, Chris Lofton,
only 1 of 6, a 3-point field goal in that first half. Different story in the second half. Good long-range shot, terrific pass down the inside. And again, coming down on that baseline jumper with the mid-range J. And then once again backing up and shooting the 3. Chris Lofton off to a very quick start in this second half, Dave.
And to replace him in the lineup.
Oh, Lofton's back. Is he back? What a second half he is having so far.
When that young man.
Chattanooga.
Fans, log on now to raycomsports.com for a chance to Join us at an upcoming game like this one. We got a good one going on. Not hang their head for a blink after a bucket is made against them. They get right back to work like that.
George, you're just not reacting. You're just not reacting to the quickness of Tennessee right now.
Not only is he active on that baseline as Lofton raises up, golly, he just stepped in off the bench. And I'm telling you, I just don't understand why people continue allowing him to shoot like that. Because he will pull the trigger and he will knock it down.
Up right now. What have you got left for me in 8:06? What have you got left in the tank? You know, Tennessee is just pounding on them right now with that full court press and also that offensive pressure that they put on them coming back. He's got to get some tremendous play, particularly out of the inside guys. Bruce Pearl saying, don't let him up. Keep that for a play. Let's see what he does. That's a good play.
I'd say getting into that guy's a pretty good call. Chris Lofton with an unbelievable second half. Not unbelievable when you look at the full body of his work, but he's got nice feet inside. And now he gets it back and knocks down the jumper.
Boy, just when you think you've got everything plugged in, there's a leak in the dike.
And Lofton answers for the balls. Are you kidding me? 22 for Chris Lofton.
What a show these two guards are putting on right now.
It's a
One.
The All-Tel SEC Game of the Week has been brought to you by Chevrolet, by AT&T, by Q from Quaker State, by Infinity, and by Geico.
Boy, have we got a good one going here in Athens. 2:37 to play, and the fourth-ranked Tennessee Volunteers trying to hold off a Georgia Bulldog team with just 7 scholarship players, but an absolute world of heart.
Well, there are 2 of the stars today, and maybe the 2 biggest stars. Sundiata Gaines and Chris Lofton have had outstanding afternoons. Got to go back out. He's going to try it.
And Gaines' 3 kicks off the back iron, but it was a valiant effort, not only by